A huge crowd, one of the biggest crowds ever probably for a women's international match, and the crowds have been fantastic in Marcoussis and today as well at the Stade Jean-Bouin, as we take one step closer to the cup final, which will be played here on Sunday. France are looking for a place in the World Cup final for the very first time. Have had to reorganise following an injury to impressive wing three-quarter Camille Gracineau. Fullback Caroline Ladanus steps forward to fill the left wing berth, with a resourceful Christelle Ledouf coming in at the back. But the power of this French side lies with the pack. Number 8, Safi Ndiaye, shortlisted for Woman Player of the Year. Denada and Koita at lock, backing up Zano Portares, and the irrepressible hooker and captain Gaël Mignot up front. Huge support here for both nations, and it's good to see the Canadians here in a goodly number. Expatriates, some of them, of course, family and friends as well. It's a huge day for Canadian rugby, that's for sure. They're through to a semi-final for the fourth time. As we look at the team, the task for them, led by Kelly Russell-Adair, gets even greater when you consider that no team to date has managed to cross the French try line. Speedster Brittany Waters comes in on the left wing in place of Jessica Dovani, the only change from the team that drew with England in their final pool match. On the right is Magley Harvey, who joins Russell on the Player of the Year shortlist. We've already referred to the power of the French at scrum time. It's well worth noting that the Canada front five, with Blackwood and Sampson at lock, dubbed the Towers of Power, had the better of finalist England over the weekend. So the stage is set. France, naturally the favourites. France's 6th World Cup semi-final. They have never reached a final. Canada's 4th semi-final. They also have never reached a final. This is the 7th time they have met in France. France have won 4, Canada 2 so far. Let's see how this second semi-final unfolds. Study in concentration. That's Caroline Ladanus in mid-shot there. She is the outside half for France and playmaker. As we move down the line, get ready for the roar when the French come onto the field, led by hooker Gaël Mignot. Here they come, and there is the roar. This fantastic stadium, new stadium at the Stade Jean-Bouin, a 20,000-seater in the shadow of the Parc des Princes, the former home of French rugby. "15 broadcasters taking these pictures, courtesy of French television, to some 90 countries all across the world." As I say, it's fantastic that you were able to join us for what is going to be quite a game and quite an event for the 50 or so ladies out on the field of play, including the referees team, of course, as we await the national anthems and listen carefully to the Canadian anthem. Listen carefully, because you probably heard a few French words in the middle of that Canadian national anthem. Some French Canadians in this Canadian squad, but there will be no mistaking La Marseillaise. And what a proud day it is for these young French ladies, probably the proudest of their rugby career so far. And the Canadians, well, caught sight of one or two black eyes there. That only adds to the charm of the North Americans. They're really up for this one, I can promise you. And with a French coach as well in Francois Ratier, who celebrated his 42nd birthday yesterday. Muted celebrations there may have been, but if Canada take this one, then there'll be huge celebrations tonight. Taking charge of this one is the civil servant from Ashbourne in County Meath, Ireland. She is Helen O'Reilly, and she's supported by Nikki Inwood from New Zealand and Claire Daniels from England. So hang on to something solid, because this is going to be quite a ride. France against Canada for a place in the Women's Rugby World Cup final of 2014. England await. Gael Mignot in the background, really pumped up. Some nerves perhaps early on as referee O'Reilly waits for the go-ahead. So there it is. The first kick then will be from the very experienced Mandy Marchak. Like any number of Canadians behind the scrum, plenty of experience in the short code on the sevens circuit, as indeed do 4 or 5 of the young ladies behind the scrum for France. And that's a first touch, a confident first touch for Sandrine Agricole. This will be her last season, she says. So will she bid farewell, I wonder, with a world title?
Let's go in, Reg.
The first line out, Canada.
Stay within the 15, okay?
Call a shortened line out. To the back it goes, claimed by Marie-Pierre Pinot-Reid. MP for short, and she'll be MP from me for the next 80 minutes or so. Andrea Burke. Nudges it forward, or so says referee O'Reilly. Not so sure that she did myself.
Overthrowing the line out straight away there from Canada. Signs of nerves maybe out there, and then Burke maybe a little look up. She heard the footsteps coming there. The referee sighted a small knock on there. Opportunity once again for France to impose themselves in the set piece, which is what they'll want to do.
So the first test for the Canadians, the power of the French scrum. Right at the back is Safi Ndai, but it's Canada who get the nudge on. Great work by Canada at the scrum. Still driving through. The front five very efficient against England last weekend. And overshadowed their English counterparts. Good work by Komba Diallo. Huge kick downfield from the fullback Christelle Ledouf. Taken up here by MP Pinot-Reid. Good quick ball for Elisa Alari.
Release, Reg!
Stephanie Bernier.
We're back!
Referee O'Reilly happy that the ball went backwards, and the greater majority of the crowd not so sure. Agricole, neat little kick into the wide open spaces behind the Canadian defence. But back there for Canada was the captain, Kelly Russell. And she will get quite a few mentions, no doubt, during the next hour and 20 minutes or so. So influential for the Canada squad is their captain, Kelly Russell. France looking to outmuscle the Canadians here. They've won the turnover. Mignot it was. Control is what's required here at the base. Then it's Jennifer Troncy. This is Agricole taking on the Canadian defense just inside the Canada 22. Spun out to Shannon Izard, finding Marion Lièvre. Prolific try scorer for France.
No advantage coming.
No advantage, so back they go.
Well, Canada have had ample opportunity to clear their lines here, but they just keep putting themselves under pressure. This is the end of the advantage that's been played here, and Lièvre, well, lacking a little bit of control on the end of the line. Showed a good turn of speed, though, really taking the attack to Canada off the turnover ball. But their work at the breakdown so far, they're killing themselves, Canada. They're going to have to commit numbers in there because France are coming and coming. It's wave after wave. Counter-ruck, competing for the ball, turnovers won. The referee played a very long advantage, and now the decision's been made to take the shot at goal.
Francois Ratier, centre frame from the Charente region in the southwest of France. Hugely respected coach.
See, this is where the penalty came from, just creeping inside the back foot. Well, maybe no, it was a touch earlier than that, actually. It was Agricole just taking the ball to the line. The penalty was a bit earlier. But just the unforced errors there, just maybe the lack of communication, and you can't underestimate what a huge occasion this is for these young players out here. As we mentioned before, never been in such an environment. Pressure on, placed in the World Cup final at stake. High stakes here tonight in Jean-Bouin.
5 minutes on the clock. Sandrine Agricole to open the scoring. Most experienced player in this French squad. Can she set them on their way? Yes, she can. So France leads Canada by 3 points to 0. Just got a glimpse there of the French coaching lineup, and they will be absolutely delighted with the start made here by France. And Sandrine Agricole with the first successful penalty of the match.
France 3, Canada 0. Penalty succeeded for France by number 10, Sandrine Agricole.
Last foot, Reg. Hold right.
Agricole, such a good reader of the game. Magli Harvey into midfield gives Elisa Alari a chance to run at the French defense up from fullback from the Saint-Anne de Bellevue club in Quebec. Dug out by Stephanie Bernier. Marie-Pierre Pinot-Reid.
Leave it now, White, leave it!
Another from Quebec. Good solid tackling from France in midfield. A half chance perhaps. Harvey appeared to be in space on the right. A testing kick for Christelle Ledouf. Expertly done by the stand-in fullback, but she has so much experience.
Ledouf did superbly well here with the oncoming pressure coming through there on that occasion from Harvey. She did extremely well to read the play. Her positional play was outstanding also. Tracked the ball across. While not able to take the ball cleanly, she managed to control her field position very well. Well played there by France.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, the players can't hear themselves think. And there's a good atmosphere, I can assure you, in the presidential box as well. Caught a glimpse there of Bernard Lapassé, the president of the IRB, Philippe Saint-André, French coach. Good to see both of them smiling, one at the other. The beleaguered French coach, perhaps I should say. So spun out from Emily Belchos, the young teenage Canadian outside half. Bernier, not the French inflection. Midway between the 10-meter line and the 22 of France. Taken up by Jessie Murphy from the Aurora Barbarians. Belchos releasing Marchak now then. Magali Harvey, good work by the wing three-quarter.
Great turnover.
Fantastic work on the ground, and I bet you Gael Mignon will be the last person to get up. I don't even have to look.
Well, it was taken on by Harvey, who did extremely well to get through Agricole here. And it was the fullback, Luduff, coming in. Look at the strong position she had over the ball there. Locked in by her supporting players, which allowed her to win that ball on the ground. And then it was Burke from Canada coming in over the top, who was penalised. Harvey's looking dangerous already, though, isn't she? Got a good turn of pace on the outside, on the right wing for Canada.
And good to see her looking for work as well. She was a bit off colour against England the other day. She missed 3 out of 4 kicks, which might have given Canada the victory. But such as this game, that you do have the rare off day taken at the back by Koumba Diallo. And this is where France are dangerous. Shielded there by the captain, Gael Mignon. The release to Agricole into midfield. Shannon Izar with the headgear, the kick, the chip ahead. Well taken though by Allery. She needs some help here and gets it from Brittany Waters. Canada there in numbers. Forming the bridge. That's the hooker, Kim Donaldson. One of 5 returnees in this squad from the 2010 Rugby World Cup. They bring plenty of experience with them. But then again, so do the French. Ladanus on the wing. She started the previous matches at fullback. They're quite adept at playing the wing three-quarter role. Chauncey looking to bring her forwards into action. Safi Ndiaye.
Just losing that ball for the Ndiaye, but you feel Canada are just struggling really to get to grips with the speed of this game at the moment. They're very tight in their attack with where they're trying to hit. This is Ndiaye taking the ball on. They're just unable to control it, losing it out the back. And the attention there from Marchak on the tackle. The first Canadian scrum was very solid. They'll take confidence from that. But at the moment, their ability to get the ball to the wide channels, they are struggling.
Should be noted there are 4 members of that French pack from the French club champions Montpellier. All of them later, but a huge hit coming in from Caroline Ladanus, from Agricole rather. Magali Harvey. Again, taking the ball up into the faces of the French defenders. The game played at quite a tempo. And it's testament to the fitness of all the women in the 4 teams that have reached the Cup semi-finals. And I think it's true to say also that the teams that have got to the semi-finals are the countries that have invested mostly in women's rugby. A penalty here for France, and could well be within reach of Sandrine Agricole. We'll know if she takes her helmet off, not for the time being, which indicates that she might go for touch and territory.
Very, very impressive French defensive line at the moment. And the attack is just coming one out at the moment. It's just one after one single run as well. Got to question where the entry point was there from the captain, Migno, but anyway, it's play on. This was a huge hit through the midfield there. It's just relentless defence. Here's another one again. Migno's at that occasion. Before it was Agricole. It's just relentless. They're going to have to really shift the point of their attack. At the moment, one out's not going to cut it against this French side.
Ndiaye. Sends it into contact, standing off there is Asakoita. Look for her to come more into the game as the game wears on. A set move in midfield, but well read by Canada's number 13, Mandy Marchak. But the advantage is still there with France. And the scrum half barking the orders as scrum halves do. Jennifer Troncy from, again, the Montpellier club, but driven backwards.
Some incredible tackles going in and out there at the moment. The options, so the huge long-range drop kick attempt.
Well, Christelle Ledouf has played fly half on a number of occasions. She's also played fullback on a number of occasions, specifically so back in 2006.
Keep coming!
Into the wide open spaces. Well, that's the idea, but Ledouf has fallen back into that fullback role. And then acres of space on the near side here. Filled there by the scrum half, Stephanie Bernier, taken back into the 22.
Keep coming, you keep coming.
Troncy as this one, oh, what a kind bounce that was for Canada. The tight head prop goes to ground. This is the hooker, Kim Donaldson. Crowded into touch, bundled into touch by the powerful Safi Ndiaye.
Look at the last foot of the ruck.
Well, she wasn't wanting the ball on that occasion, was she? The Canadian hooker there, Donaldson. Ndiaye, well, we know what power she has in attack. This is another example of huge tackling going on through the midfield. It is frantic out there at the moment. We're seeing turnovers left and right. Both teams lacking just a touch of accuracy at the moment. But there is plenty of physical want out there from both teams. They really want to get into each other's faces.
Some good slick passing here from the French, and away goes Ladanus. The quick offload as France look to keep momentum here. Agricole shoveling it in field to Ndiaye once more. Shortlisted player for Women Player of the Year. The many options for Agricole, just keeping the pressure on. And pushing Canada back deep into the 22.
Keep working on the last foot of the ruck, okay?
Agricole reading the play well. There is a lot of space in the back three here for Canada at the moment because they've been stretched far and wide with their defensive line. And the fullback Alari, she's got an awful lot of ground to cover there. Agricole's going to pick that off all day.
She had an exceptional game against Australia in the last pool match to determine who was likely to go through to the Cup semi-finals. Relentless pressure from France again. As indeed there was against Australia, 17-3. It's a marvellous record this that the French have. Only 2 tries scored against them in their Six Nations Grand Slam campaign, and none in this tournament.
You see the work rate coming across here from the Canadians. Everybody is desperate out there. Desperate. Why? Well, it's pretty much last chance rugby, isn't it? When we get to this stage, semi-final of a competition, it's about the moment, it's about the now, and they know it out there, but they're going to have to up the accuracy levels on both sides here.
Well, Koyumba Diallo seemed to be up there for a very long time. Almost as high as the Tour Eiffel, not too far from where we are here at the Stade Jean-Bouin. Just tipped forward by a Canadian hand. Just 3 points on the board, 17 minutes of play. Andrea Burke, 32-year-old.
The timing was outstanding there to get through onto Tronky, the number 9 there for France to disrupt her. Unfortunately, knocking it on in the tackle as well. But every ball is it's priceless prices out there, isn't it? Very precious possession.
Hardly time to take a breather.
There's no issue where her arm is. You need to work hard to get that lined up. There's no issue there.
Canadian scrum looks very solid, though, it doesn't it early. It's Whereas you feel France have got the upper hand, certainly line-out-wise with their ability to drive, their mauling ability. The scrum looks very solid from Canada.
Yeah, Pino Reid, she's got to work it out here against Elodie Portaris.
Here we go.
What a wonderful scrum, what a powerful scrum. Great drive forward there by the Canadian 8 against their bigger opponents. France have retained possession. Troncy. Agricole, she doesn't want to give a bad ball out to her colleagues. Otherwise, Gail Minio, the captain, will have something to say about it. Surely that was forward, yeah. The referee's assistant on the far side. Just switching on her microphone, you might have seen her in the background.
Very good work in contact. Again, it's Mayer trying to get it through the hands very quickly, but just a flat line of attack there. Very good spot from the assistant referee. Working as three, so important. There's so much going on out there that all the assistance that O'Reilly can get from both Inwood and Daniels is vital out there. And of course, we have in play also the television match official for this game as well.
Got a glimpse there. Caroline Ladanus, a prolific club point scorer for Lons on Bern.
Okay, come on. I don't see an issue with what she's doing that's going to prevent you getting your bind. Please, there's no issue with what she is doing that's preventing you getting your bind. I need you to work harder to get that bind in.
Difficult to get a hold on Portaris' jersey by the
bind, okay?
sound of things.
Interesting though, isn't it? Because Pino Reid, she's dominating. This Canadian scrum's dominating. Yet the referee's targeted her.
Well, they take such pride in the scrimmaging. There we are. Straight arm bind. That's what the referee is looking for. And this time it's the French who get the drive on, turning legally or illegally the Canadian 8. But they get away with it. Now then, into the wide open spaces, forcing Ledouf to sprint over to cover this one. Up from fullback is her opposite number, Ellery. Good work by Ellery. There also is Brittany Waters. Ledouf in a heap of trouble here.
Stay your feet!
The French are back there in close support. The ball has gone forward. Referee O'Reilly waiting for a Canadian advantage. Arms are in the air, punching the air. Terrific pressure there by the Canadians, and in particular Elisa Allery, but good vision as well, putting that kick in.
She's under a little bit of pressure there, and Anna Belcher, she shifts the ball into the hands of Marshak, who knocks it through there, but Ledouf is way out of position there, under pressure, trying to run herself out of trouble. Look at the good work here from the Canadian backline. We spoke about how precious this ball is, the counter-rucking, the ability to get beyond the ball. Very well played, Canada.
And Waters having the presence of mind to release Ledouf, because so many penalties have been given in that area. The women certainly been studying the rule book. But what a kick that was from Mandy Marchak, probably one of the world's best centres, and the vision to spot the gap and a half chance. And Gail Minio, she won't want to leave the field, that's for sure. Over 40 caps, and this is her second Women's Rugby World Cup. Made her debut against Scotland in the 2010 version. Says a lot about Gail Minio that her best memory is the 2010 semi-final at Guildford in England when France played New Zealand but lost. She has a chance here to lead her team into the final for the very first time. Penalty Canada. Quickly taken. That's no. What will Canada do here? Will they ask Harvey to go for the posts, or will they dig for territory? Little uncertainty. Russell. She's asked Marchak to come up. Well, as I said, Harvey wasn't firing on all cylinders against England the other day with a boot.
This is the penalty while standing up, driving in on the angle. Yes, isn't on that occasion there. I think she could have been penalised about 3 or 4 offences. The previous scrum, France deliberately wheeled it. That shows what pressure they fell under. And then we come, opportunity win, and the throw's not straight.
Focus. The outside shoulder.
The most disappointing thing is when the opposition aren't really contesting for the ball and stuff like that, you've got to get these things right. And as I say, everything from both sides out there, it seems frantic, doesn't it? And I think it's, you know, moments like this, or when those little injury breaks in play, that Kelly Russell's really trying to try and get her hands back on the situation here and calm her team down. They've got to feel confident about their scrummaging, and they've got to take a lot of heart out of it. They've got to calm themselves down across the ground.
It's a defensive scrimmage for France. 5 metres out from their own try line, and Canada get the nudge on. And Dai again, the saviour, but the ball is loose. As Lièvre spins on her heel and gets the ball away. Now then, Canada will need to maintain their concentration here, get the throw right.
It's time for cool heads, isn't it? They're able to scrummage. They're loving this aspect of the game here tonight. They're loving the challenge of this big French pack, and they're responding. This time, they've got it right.
Well, this is the first real test of the French defence, and remember, no try has been scored against the French in this tournament, but that could all change here. Was that maul pulled down intentionally by the French? No, says referee O'Reilly. And Canada have it once more. A metre short as Pinot Reid has a go herself. Waiting there is Bernier, the scrum half. Referee O'Reilly right on the spot. So Canada denied for a split second.
Well, coming up with the ball in that situation is Safin Day, but you'll see it's totally illegal play on the ground by her. She's held on, she's a tackler, now she's rolling with it. The camera work is superb. The referee didn't quite have the angle to spot that one. But goodness me, this case for penalty, yellow card in that situation.
Well, even the referee's manager, Joel Jus, is smiling here. Sitting next to you, Simon.
It's the first time he's smiled all week at me.
Ah, it's great, yeah. Absolutely fantastic. Good camaraderie. So let's see, 24 minutes. Canada trail by 3 points to 0.
They'll fancy this, won't they?
They certainly will. They'll dig their heels in here. Look at the determination on the face of the Canadian scrum half, Stephanie Bernier. Here it comes into midfield quickly, looking for Marcher. But look again at the power of Marjorie Mayence. Number 12 for France. Prevented a certain try there, but the danger is still there for France. And they've won the scrum.
It seems to me every time the whistle goes, we're getting fist pumps, we're getting high fives on both sides. The effort is outstanding out there. 10, 12, 13 for France on that occasion. It's Agricole, Mayens and Izar. Superb defensive effort through the midfield. The scrum got turned slightly. The aggression of putting the ball, a bit of intention in there, isn't there? From Bernier anyway. Scrum again, and we're going scrum, scrum, scrum.
Yeah, we don't mention the hit these days, but wait for the Canadian shove here as they get themselves into position. The binding a little problematic on this side still. So much depending on the outcome of this match for both teams. Cracking game, cracking atmosphere.
Hips and shoulders, same direction. Same to you, please, okay? Drive straight.
And probably the coolest person inside the Stade Jean Bois is a 39-year-old civil servant from County Meath in Ireland. That's Helen O'Reilly.
Binds! I don't want your shoulders going down more than your hips, okay? Keep the shoulders up in a positive position, please, okay?
She's doing it all day, ref, was the call there. From Pinot Reid on that occasion once again. Lots of chat.
Pinot Reid on this side, 1 meters 80 tall, 93 kilograms.
Crouch!
So solid.
Yep.
Portaris.
Binds! Set!
107 kgs. And in difficulty here, down on one knee as France come again, and Trancy's caught in possession. Now can Canada turn it over here? Now France have it well covered. Portaris, she is the PA, the prop, the pillar. Not the best of kicks. Allery, well picked up. A mazy run from her, looking to release the outside backs now then. A chance here perhaps for Marchak. She's got Burke on her inside shoulder. Good tackle once more from Marjorie Mayons, and that has brought the crowd to their feet on the far side, but Canada have stolen it. Russell will set it up just inside the French 22. Bernier to Pinot Reid. But look who's in there. And get her mitts on the ball. Safi Ndiaye just looking towards the referee. Thanks very much. Merci.
You don't have anything, Jeff, no?
Safi Ndiaye just superb on that occasion here, but we'll see here the counter-attack. It's Alawi looking to open up play on the outside. No problem with that tackle. What a superb tackle from Mayans, getting ahead, maybe on the wrong side. But in this occasion here, Pinot Reid, she's too high going into contact there. Opening yourself up to the choke tackle, tying it up. And then it's too easy for the big French number 8.
You have to put it through one of the AORs. I just want to check a tackle. Back over there, please.
Interesting use, and good use of the TMO on this occasion by Helen O'Reilly. She's not happy with the tackle. She saw a tip tackle, spare tackle on that occasion there. But everything looked fine to us at first view here. She didn't go through the horizontal. I thought she was well controlled. But I applaud the referee for going back and checking these situations here. Potential danger. We'll see it here. There's a tackle up in the air. She jumps into it, but she controls her back to the ground. I think it's good refereeing, an easy decision for the TMO.
So let's have another look.
You see she jumped into the tackle, but the French player there, I didn't get a number on who was actually involved in that tackle there.
Your recommendation is a yellow card against white 11.
The TMO is going to call the yellow card. I can't help but feel they've got that one wrong.
Can you confirm that for me, please?
Well, what more could she have done? She brought it back down to earth.
I thought
unless she let go. That's the only question.
Okay, and restart with a penalty back over
I thought she controlled it very well, because it was a dangerous situation, given the player that Alaria jumped into the tackle.
11 white, please. 11 white.
This is one of those really unfortunate situations.
It's going to be a yellow card and restart with a penalty over
and
here.
Unfortunately, when we go back to the game France-Australia, we had a yellow card that turned the game, didn't we, on a rather contentious yellow card. Just the crowd unhappy, and I can understand that as well, and disappointing.
Yeah, it is. So let's hope it doesn't spoil the game, and Caroline Ladanus, she'll spend the next 10 minutes in the sin bin.
Come to here.
Controversial decision.
Jeff, we need to sort out something with the comms.
On the word of Jeff Warren, who is the television match official from England.
Great, thanks a million.
Just how crucial these decisions can be, and as we say, well, anyway, it's an opportunity for 3 points for Canada. And they'd be good for these 3 points. 3-all would be a very fair reflection on where this game sits after 27. Just in my mind earlier when Agricole was having a shot at goal, when it's the first time ever that I've heard a stadium silent in France. And, you know, that's part of the French culture, and you hear the whistling going on now, and that's a dissatisfaction with the... once again, we're almost back at silence. This is an unbelievable change culturally for the French rugby public.
It certainly is. You know, signs up on the big screens, please respect the kicker, and that's exactly what the French have done. And Magalia Harvey, she's put the disappointment of those missed kicks against England behind her, and she's drawn Canada level with France at 3 points all. Yeah. Now, can they take advantage of the extra player with wing three-quarter Caroline Ladanus, shown the yellow card for a disputed tip tackle, and is now in the sin bin for the next 9.5 minutes or so. Pulsating stuff here then from France, and Canada in the second semi-final, and away goes Andrea Burke on the angle into midfield. Wonderful angle there from Burke to the looser prop Pinot Reid, who's seen a lot of possession in this first half. They'll have to come all the way back.
As much as we're enjoying Pinot Reid scrummaging and the work she's doing there, I don't think Canada wanted to see her in that position of first receiver there on that occasion, did they? They had about a 7-on-2 that was stacking up, and they were just slightly fought past, but a very good call. Slightly fought, that's enough. The assistant referee and referee, they got that call spot on. But a great counter-attack, great burst of determination from Andrea Burke. The two midfield pairings have been outstanding thus far, both defensively and in attack as well. Burke on that occasion, incisive break.
And the interesting thing is that Mayons and Nizar and Marchak and Burke for Canada know each other's plays so well because they've met on the sevens circuit, and that's something we've referred to more than once during the last week or so. The influence of sevens on this tournament, the number of sevens players, and 60 in total, I think, representing their respective countries in this tournament. So the penalty from Agricol.
Captain.
Not the longest kick.
Every time at this one with the bind, okay?
But safely into touch on the far side. 10 minutes to the break. It's a much closer affair, this one, than the first semi-final between England and Ireland, won comfortably by England 40 points to 7. Steamrolled Ireland. Winners over New Zealand, of course, at the pool stage. France trying to get that rolling maul, which has been so effective in this tournament, going. 4 Montpellier players, the French champions, in the van there for France, led by the second row, Assa Koita, from the Bobigny club on the outskirts of Paris. Good hands. Bundling the touch, there was Christelle Ledouf by Magali Harvey. France then maybe down to 14 players, but they're not downhearted. Far from it.
Outstanding maul there by the French 8 there. They worked this extremely well. Love the awareness of Tronky here with Ledouf. They knew they had play. Mayon's coming round as well. Held up the defence. But you've got to admire the cover defence and the effort there. Coming in from the right winger on that occasion there was Harvey. Canada try and work it away.
Saved a certain try there, Canada. At the line out, Marchak scuffed that one. Drops into midfield now then. Marion Lièvre, she loves to run. If she gets a little space in which to manoeuvre. Christelle Ledouf, 5 metres outside the Canadian 22. Agricol finds Mayons and runs straight in the tackle of Brittany Waters. Waters back in defence immediately as another wave of attack comes in the form of Ndai. Saf, as she's known to her colleagues. Agricol to the lumbering number 4, Marine Denadai. And they get a penalty. They'll get the penalty just outside the 22.
Liev getting treated there on her ankle. She looked to be in a lot of pain here. As we see Burke coming in on the tackle. She gets pinned in there by that. She's got nowhere to go. And on that occasion, but the referee rightly penalising. This is where we see the ankle get. She just gets it caught underneath her there in the tackle. That one's going to hurt a bit. Well, she's up, back, hobbling around. An opportunity for Agricol. We know what a wonderful striker of the ball she is, and probably the best passage of play we've seen from France in the last 15 minutes or so. They managed to control possession there and bring their big runners, their power players into the game. We saw Diallo on shot there. She's been a bit quiet to date. They've got to get the hands into their big runners here and start to make inroads into this Canadian side.
Sandrine Agricol sets it up 5 metres outside the Canadian 22. Looking to double France's tally here. Deathly hush all around the Stade Jean-Bouin. Concentrating. Looks up the posts. Right-footed, head down. And Serge Betson will have enjoyed that one. Former flank forward for France. Textbook stuff from Sandrine Agricol.
She's one of the most pure strikers of the rugby ball from the tee in this Women's Rugby World Cup. Beautiful kicker on the ball.
Well, she's been studying to be a physiotherapist and sat her final exams last month. I think she's something of a psychologist as well, because she says that the position of outside half is the ultimate position for me, allows me to direct the game and a position that has a lot of responsibility. She just shrugs off the psychological pressure.
I tell you what, Win, it's a position that's easy to play when you're behind a pack that's dominating like this at the moment, isn't it? Sitting in the armchair, controlling things.
Well, this certainly is the true test for Canada. Harvey, she'll have a go. Just tipped up there by Marjorie Mayence. Well, we asked the question before this match, which defence would be the strongest? And it could well come down to a matter of defences.
Don't go in the side, 12
Canada on their toes.
Take it back in.
Chauncey back to Shannon Izar. And Allery has spotted a huge gap over on the right. Oh,
goodness me.
My word.
What an opportunity missed. Noticed it before when the kick chase line out of France is extremely poor. They're at 6s and 7s. And on this occasion here, we had the whole French team in from the goalpost to the touchline. That means there was 35 to 40 metres of space. All they had to do was get it there, and they would have had acres to run into. But as it is, the forward pass initially, great call by the referee.
Turn off.
Well, Canada were the more resourceful team throughout the game against England. They wasted numerous opportunities through handling errors. And a team aspiring to become world champions can't afford such lapses of concentration as this.
Just have a look here, Larry. That's just, well, you question the support player. She knows she's not on a strong hand. She can bring herself back in a bit closer. They had time. The important thing was to get the ball to the space, and how they get it there was with accurate passing. On that occasion, the technique let her down there, Larry, who's been very good to date, I must say. I think her positional play has been excellent and her willingness to counter as well. But what an opportunity missed there. And we know that this game is played at this level, in this atmosphere. It's about small margins, and a real opportunity missed there with 4 to go until half-time there for Canada.
Canada were fourth to France in the third and fourth playoff back in 2002 and again in 2006. They're fourth to England in 1998. But this is a totally different Canadian side. Huge on confidence. Well, that goes also for the French. As they drive over the Canadian 10-metre line, Chauncey out to Agricole, putting the ball, or attempting to put the ball behind Magley Harvey, racing Ellery. Oh, lovely show, and a dash downfield, the slice and dice from the fullback. The final pass not going to hand, though. And they're mostly forwards out on the right for France, as MDI has a go. This is Lièvre, not looking where she was passing. Recovering there for France is Manon André. 3 minutes to the break as Agricole sets off on the angle. Chauncey, Portaris. Chauncey again, but she's well marshalled there by Stephanie Bernier. She seems to be injured in that little confrontation and challenge. Kelly Russell was there for Canada, the captain, and number 8 quickly back on her feet as Diallo has a go herself on the narrow side. France, remember, still down to 14 players, and Ladanus in the sin bin, and Canada also effectively down to 14 players as the scrum half, Bernier, doesn't look too comfortable at the moment. Ledouf on to Shannon Izar from the Lille club. Only began playing rugby some 2 seasons ago in college, but finds herself in the thick of the action, looking for a place in the top tournament for women. That's the Women's Rugby World Cup on home turf. Agricole again, peppering the near touchline here. And Canada still down to 14, but France back to a full 15, and they've scored 3 points.
Sorry, Nicky, say that again?
When Ladanus was in the sin bin, so no harm done.
Well, there's Agricole once again, and there's nothing you can do about that as a defending fullback. You always believe any kick that lands within the 5 is a great kick, and you're not going to criticise a fullback for not covering that one off. But
sometimes going off,
it's
no one around, but
end-to-end stuff. It's just unfortunately that each play seems to be breaking down. This is where we're going to see the injury here coming through, and she seems to have done her knee on that occasion there.
When they're out diving.
Bernier, who's preparing out near the brace.
No problem, I'll have a look.
Her ankles seem to give way under her in attempting that tackle.
This is unfortunate. Let's have a look here, driving through, working hard. His ankles held her knee initially. Let's hope that's okay, as we've got the replacements out there already. The decision made very quickly.
Yeah, it's Julianne Zussman, another returnee from 2010, so she does bring experience with her, the 27-year-old from Ottawa. Zussman started on against Spain on the wing.
It's going to take a minute to get.
It's going to take some time for the medical support to get their protocols right and get their systems in place. And the players, well, they can be comforted in the fact that they have
I can hear you now, Jeff. That
excellent
correct,
medical support here in Marcoussis, where the opening rounds have been played over the last 10 days or so. That's the centre for French rugby. And here again at Jean-Bois.
This was the break from Mallory, which is superb play. But about that time, you've got to control possession. And this is where the momentum shifts again. It swings and roundabouts in this game. And guys, she's a very powerful runner, isn't she? Shifts it to the outside. That was a huge hit coming in there. Looking for the spot tackle was Blackwood coming in there on Liev to make the spot tackle there. Try to disrupt the play.
So Stephanie Bernier's game is over. She will be ferried off rather to the medical centre in no little discomfort. And greeted with applause from the crowd. They love their rugby, don't they, here in France and in Paris, at the home of Stade Francais. What a marvellous home it is.
Time back on there, Jeff.
So we wish Stephanie Bernier well as we approach the break here. France leading Canada by 6-3. And it's advantage Canada, nudged forward by a French hand.
No advantage coming. First one on the knock-on by White, second one by Red.
The way we've seen the momentum swing in this one, I think Canada will be quite happy to get into this half-time break at just 6-3 down. They had a really dominant period there, but unfortunately they've just sort of let go a little bit of the control that they did have, and they were establishing up front. Not able to take advantage of the fact that France were down to 14. That was a 10-minute period that finished 3-all.
Well, when we look at recent results between these two countries, just spotted there, Alyssa Allery has gone into the scrum half berth. Just commenting that France lost the first meeting of these teams last November, but 29-17, then went on to win 11-6 at Amneville. So it's no surprise that it is a close call, a close run thing between Canada and France as we approach the break. Important scrum then for Canada. The decoy runner was Canadian centre Andrea Burke in midfield. Taken up by Kelly Russell.
Hold 12.
Belchos boots the ball downfield as the clock turns to red. One more chance for France before the break.
Two hold.
Ledouf.
They want to get this ball off the field when this is crazy stuff here by Canada.
Lievre spots the gap, but straight into the hands of the dangerous Magali Harvey, running away from a supporter. Whoa, that was a huge shoulder charge.
Just check where that ball lands, Nicky.
But Magali Harvey, she's made of sterner stuff. She may have been winded.
Penalty kick, captain, option of a kick here. Down here.
Yeah, that's the option. That's a solid challenge. So sure that the French girl had
very careful on the late hit
chance
after
to
the kick, okay?
pull out. The French director might want to have another look at that, or might want us to have a chance to have another look at it.
Well, it's interesting. The assistant referee has gone to where the ball stopped, which unfortunately, Joel Juge has walked away from me. I'd love to ask him the question. I'm pretty sure where the ball lands. And the fact that it rolled and rolled and rolled and rolled has now put it into kicking range. So a contentious way to finish the first half. Here I am suggesting they've got to get the ball off the field here, not to give away a penalty at their end. The late charge brings them right down. The assistant referee ruling that that's where the penalty kick should be taken. As we'll see here, here's the kick. It's just a straight body check. She turns into it, and watch it run and run and run. I can't help but feel that's not quite right.
Well, the challenge came from Ladanus, who's already seen one yellow card. Now,
good spot.
Had that been picked up, that yellow could well have turned to red. But as it is, it's Magali Harvey, successful with her only kick so far in this 2 minutes into time added on to draw the teams level. And they will go in to the shed, as we say, at the break. At 6 points all, and the broad smile on the face of Magali Harvey says it all. It's been a pulsating first half here in the second semi-final at the Stade Jean Bois. It's 6 points all between France and Canada. Don't go away.
France 6, Canada 6, France and Canada.
Welcome back to the atmospheric Stade Jean Bois for the second half of this second Cup semi-final between France and Canada, and they're tied up at 6 points all. And if we have anything like the game we had in the first half, then we're in for a rousing second 40-minute period. In determined fashion, Gaëlle Mignot, the French hooker, leads her team onto the field of play. It couldn't be closer, with Magali Harvey converting 2 penalties for Canada, and France's inspirational outside half for Sandrine Agricole with 2 for the French. And the tricolour is flying proudly around the Stade Jean Bois here in the southwest area of Paris, not far from the River Seine. And we're yet to determine who will join England in the final next Sunday. We've already accounted for Ireland by a final scoreline of 40 points to 7. And they will be looking at this match, no doubt, with great interest. So here we go then with the second half. The final 40 minutes of the semi-final. The first big hit of the second period on Brittany Waters, the Canadian left wing. Back to Belchos. The testing kick for Ladanus.
Advantage!
Pressure being applied by Harvey. It's advantage here for France. Caught by the shirttails is Ladanus by
advantage!
Mandy Marchak. The advantage quickly back with Canada. Harvey
Run away, Wise!
started a career on the wing, has played fullback. Or started at fullback, rather. Last line of defence, and she had no choice but to tackle.
Great play.
Karen Paquin cuts back inside, over halfway up to the 10-metre mark. Well tackled there.
Advantage!
Agricole, it's advantage to France. Ball lost forward by Canada. And the game at the top of the second half played with the same high tempo as which the first half finished. The replacement, this is Zusman. Come on to the wing.
Last one, Wise!
As Canada rearrange, it's Allery at scrum half in place of the injured Stephanie Bernier.
Run away, Wise!
Allery.
She's gone.
Oh, she threw straight through the middle, and this is going to be a challenge score for Canada. The stand-in scrum half is a standout fullback for Canada. She is Elissa Allery. Oh, what a score!
The big players have got to stand up on these occasions here. Nobody in the guard position around the ruck there. The defence was fragile, to say the least. Gaping holes around the breakdown. Ellery sighted it beautifully. There's nothing Agricole, the standout number 10, can do for France in that situation there. Just have a look at the numbers off their feet, committing themselves, and there it is there, the show of the ball. Options were outside Ellery. Agricole was having a look outside. She had to set herself tight to that ruck and wait for support before she shifted out. Close down that area first and let the defence realign themselves off you. She didn't do it on that occasion. Probably the first foot she's put wrong all night, because she's been tackling, she's been running, she's been kicking beautifully. And on that occasion there, a poor decision at the breakdown. You feel it's the big players here are the ones who are going to make the difference. I know it sounds all very simple, but we saw the turnover. Conversion just wide, but the turnover was made by who for Canada, which set the movement alight. It was Burke, and of course it was Marshak who were in there. And this is the end of it. Mallory does extremely well, identified the situation in front of her, 30 metres to run in. Beautifully taken try. What a start to the second half.
The best placed guy to see that was the photographer behind the hoardings on the far side. And I should imagine, I know full well that Gareth Rees has a very important meeting at Rugby Canada this very moment. He's got the screen on behind him. He'll be shouting loud and proud for Canada. But hang on, hold the back page. France can come right back into it here.
Well, Sampson on this occasion, she was isolated. It's not really a ball you want your second rower having to deal with it on an occasion. And the backs needed to stand up and take ownership of that long kickoff. But Sampson, the second rower, floundering round there. 5 metre scrum here. France with the immediate opportunity to hit back.
And wherever you look around this ground, there are tricolour flags flying, urging, willing France on here. Still problems on the far side of that scrum.
She'll take her bind first, and then you go afterwards, okay? Okay?
Pino Reid and Portaris.
Crouch!
Interesting conversation in the referee suggesting the tight hip. Portaris is going to bind first.
Oh, she's in difficulty there on the right-hand side of the French scrum, isn't she? And France, well, they've coughed up possession there as Canada look to bring it away through Marchak, looking for Harvey. Harvey's away over the 22, giving chases Mayons. Harvey inside Ledouf, launch it away. Magali Harvey, can she go all the way in at the corner? Canada score! What a fantastic try! Backs to the wall, right on their own try line. They stole the scrum, and I tell you what, the Lucette prop Marie-Pierre Pinot-Reid can take much credit for that. But the pace then of Magali Harvey, the confidence of the Canadian, look at this.
Superb scrummaging here from the Canadian 8. Great control here. Well, she picks it out of the scrum, and then it's Ellery. She does well, and then it's the handling under pressure here. The quick hands, the French alignment. Well, it was thrown to bits. It was in disarray, wasn't it? And then it was down, and it's all about one person, and that person is Magali Harvey. Inside out, the balance, the poise. I love the way she's been shouted to the line by her teammate in support there. I can't see who it was. What a finish. 80 metres running from Harvey. Well done to the Canadian 8. This game has been turned on its head.
It certainly has, and what a great sight it is to see Stephanie Bernier being carried out back onto the field. Strapped up, she missed the try from Stephanie Bernier. This from Elisa Ellery. And she may have missed Magali Harvey's try. Strange kicking action from Magali Harvey, but it's very, very effective, isn't it? Wow. 2 steps and a stab.
Brilliant play there from Harvey. The Canadian 8 just superb in the scrummaging. Love the finish, the balance here, inside out. Ledouf squared up, taken on the inside. And then it's this foot race to the line. Great effort coming back there by Liev. She tried everything, but it was all in vain there.
This could well be the try of the tournament for Magali Harvey. shortlisted for Women Player of the Year, and she's living up to that billing.
Roll away, 7 white.
18-6. The game has turned on its head here in the last 5 minutes. Canada with 2 tries. France have kept their side of the score sheet clean of tries in the opening 3 matches. But Canada have broken through twice through that young lady, Elisa Allery, the stand-in scrum half, and now the right winger, Magali Harvey, and they come again, looking to secure possession through Zusman. And the ball spun out once again to Harvey. Look at the strength. Lovely offload. Just couldn't quite grasp it, could Mandy Marchak. Cool heads. That's what's required now.
Time off.
Well, time off gives us all a chance to catch our breath again, doesn't Harvey has the opportunity. I'm not sure who was there, under the attention of 3 defenders, and that is spilled with a 40-metre run into the line with no one in front.
So Portales, who we've seen in well, having problems from Marie-Pierre Pinot-Ride on the loose head for Canada, has been replaced by Chauvet. Well, Canada want to round it off here, could well do as well through the number 6, the flanker. That's the JC Murphy, pulled down 2 meters short, and Canada now have their tails up. They can sense that they will go through to the final, where once again they will meet England, but we're only 8 minutes into the second half.
Just a lack of composure from France. They completely rattled. The crowd are trying to rouse them here. Does extremely well, Murphy. Unfortunately, she neglected the support she has on the inside. And you'll see a loose head prop there, who we've spoken about an awful lot tonight, and Pinot-Ride tracking up there, bundled into touch. That could have been just about game point there, couldn't it? You feel there'd be no coming back after one more try, even though there's half an hour to run. Momentum swings massively in favour here of Canada. France have got to try and regroup.
So Canada challenge at the line-out and a secure possession against the throw-in of the French captain, Gaël Mignot. And what a game Elisa Allery is having at scrum half. Started at fullback, claimed the opening try for Canada. And this time, it's Andrea Burke. It's all Canada at the moment. Allery once again. Harvey coming in off the right wing, looking for work. This is the captain, Kelly Russell, 5 meters short. In goes Kim Donaldson, the hooker. Harvey is there yet again. Driven forward, driven hard and low. Asking questions again of the French defence. This ball won't go far, but Belchos wants it at outside half. Clapping the hands, give it to me. There it goes. Into midfield. Sidestepping the tackle was Andrea Burke. The French are there in numbers, but Burke, look at her. Making sure that possession is retained. Ndiaye again looking up to hold up the ball carrier. And has done exceptionally well. Ledouf, anywhere will do, downfield to lift the pressure. But the pressure is back on through Julian Zusman. Well, I have to tell you, women's rugby is the fastest growing team sport in the world, and on the evidence of what we've seen over the last couple of hours, one can easily see why and how.
Much better kick chase, much better energy out of the French on that occasion. It's desperate times for them. But at the same time, 12 points is not insurmountable. The amount of mistakes we saw in the first half has got to give them belief that they're going to get opportunities. They know they've got the big ball carriers. They know they have the power runners capable of breaking Canada apart as well. They must remain calm.
And once again, Canada would appear to have picked off the French line-out. Nothing going right for France at the moment, and Canada will get the scrum. Well, there's some exciting stuff going on in Canadian rugby, that's for sure, and we congratulate the Canada women's sevens team. They are the new world champions, the new university world champions, that is, claimed in Brazil last weekend, and further recognition, as if any, was required of yet another success for the Canadian development program. A lot of funding swung women's rugby the way of women's rugby in Canada, and bearing in mind, of course, that rugby is now an Olympic sport. An Olympic effort here, Herculean effort from Canada. Russell it was from the base of the scrum. This is Marchak. Ball falling into the hands of Sandrine Agricole. This could well be her swan song. The book is closed, is what she says. But there could yet be a final chapter to be written. France trail 18-6 as Brittany Waters brings the ball forward, runs into Assa Koita, the French number 5. In France, the French forwards not having their own way at all, as Canada have taken the game to France right from the outset. Again, finding good space there was Andrea Burke. Very quickly up was Zussman, the replacement. Did she release? Yes, she did. France on the defensive yet again.
Stay up, White!
Blackwood takes it up. Touch forward. Advantage is there for France.
She got the second one. seemed to be a knock on, didn't it? But
yes.
You just feel Le Duff is struggling a little bit positionally, don't you? There when she's there's a lot of space to be kicked into there. Love the chase through there from Zussman. She did extremely well. The enthusiasm. Well, we're going to see the very powerful front row has been changed already. Heads going in everywhere. Here's the chase coming through from Zussman. Did extremely well. Le Duff does well to make the tackle.
Well, it's been a great
time's not off. Come on.
Opening 52 minutes for those two front rowers who've come off. Leith and Donaldson, and on come Laura Russell and Olivia de Marchant. Laura Russell, rather, a sister of Kelly Russell. The Russell sisters play for the Toronto Nomads, and there's huge emotion, as one might expect, in the dugout.
Bring the shoulder out.
Wearing 17, that's Olivia de Marchant. Powerful looking tight head from the Woodstock Wildmen. Wouldn't you just love to play for the Woodstock Wildmen, Simon? That shut you up. I'm just looking at your hair. Because the note I've got here, Olivia de Marchant, she has fuzzy hair. So 13, 14 minutes into the second half. 2 tries have changed the complexion of this game completely.
Okay, let's go. Captain, no issue.
Some consternation perhaps on the French bench as they look to make a substitution.
Bind. Set. Oh, let's call it right.
Under pressure. Chauncey gets it away, but it'll be a Canadian line-out, and that line-out has proved to be very, very competent and efficient as well in the second half, certainly, when 2 line-outs have been stolen on the French put in.
Just hold her there, Claire, will you please?
Even with the changes that have been made in the front row, we've seen another change about to be made. France just feeling no confidence, are they, about their scrum, and you could just see all they wanted to do was get that ball in and away and get it out of there as possible. They're not wanting to scrummage at the moment. 25 to go, you're 12 behind. There is no need to panic. And someone's really got to try and regain composure within this French side. And the big players have got to stand up, because I tell you what, for Canada, they're running things at the moment.
That's the best ball of all at the back of the line-out, top of the line-out. Paquin it was who claimed it. Waters finds space for herself.
Release Red!
And the Canadians are crowding over on the narrow side, but guilty of holding on to possession. And a chance here for Canada to clear downfield.
Waters on that occasion, caught in possession. It was the replacement who's come on. Lovely kick downfield there by Agricole. It was a replacement on there. Purumanu, you see, huge hit coming in. She gets in, she's first over the ball. The moment the shoulders hit, though, ruck call. We're not getting a clear ruck call from the referee, which is probably not helping the players.
Back up, please, girls.
France have contested the playoffs 4 times in 5 Women's Rugby World Cup tournaments. Will they be denied
Let's go, White.
once more of a place in the final?
Wait.
This time, France
Don't go in the side there, Red.
secure possession at the back through the number 6, Kumba Diallo. And now the French crowd really getting behind their team. And the French need every ounce of support they can get here. Agricole, not the best of passes to Myers, picked up there by Marcher. She's got support. Oh, Belchos. She'll be annoyed with herself.
The question you'd ask yourself here, why take the ball out of that maul?
7.
They had such good structure going on. There was no call by the referee to use the ball whatsoever. They were moving the whole time, trying to force the play on that occasion there. And it was the experiences in there of Mayans as well as Agricole, which led to the breakdown in communication. But as it is, they dodge a little bit of a bullet on the outside with Belchos knocking the ball on. But again, France have got to go to a scrum. They don't want to be in this phase of the game.
Letitia Grand comes on,
Okay.
wearing 20 for France.
Bind. Set. Hold. Eyeball. Okay.
Not for the first time the front rows go to ground.
Please. As I said, you get your bind first, then you get your bind. Both of you are losing your bind and slipping down. You first, and then you, okay? Here we are.
It's amazing how things often, when the referee changes sides, how that can tend to correct things, doesn't it? We'll see on this scrum here.
Yeah, 2 new props on the far side, but the problem remains the same.
Set. Hold it. Stay on 9, stay.
French get it back somehow. Ledouf
Hold 22.
hoofs it downfield.
Went back.
An awkward ball for Julian Zussman. Waters back to Zussman.
Tackler release, 20 release.
Canada have it. Ellery, not sure quite who called for that one, but it's in the firm grip of JC Murphy. The blindside wing forward. Kick out wide. Well, that's not the best of kicks. Finding Shannon Iza. She's got pace. She's got company now as well in the form of Marjorie Mayons. But again, France cough up possession. A little panic, perhaps.
Panic from the kick out by Canada, wasn't it? But then you've got to love the work rate coming out of it. Once again, it's the midfield. It was Burke on this occasion here. She just slips. He's love the ball play out the back door to Mayans. She thinks she's an opportunity, and who gets there? Well, it's her opposite number, Burke, who gets her under pressure and absolutely nails her, forcing the knock on. This Canadian midfield has really impressed me as a combination. They've worked extremely hard, run very well balanced, strong runners through the midfield, but I'm loving their work rate. The tackles they're getting through, superb play. Look for the number 8 here and Captain Russell to launch something off the base.
Yeah, she's had a quiet game so far as Kelly Russell. There she is. Did she fumble? No, she didn't.
Last foot.
Allery. Oh, she's a bundle of energy, isn't she? Elisa Allery stepped in for the injured Bernier towards the end of the first half. Another sevens exponent in this Canadian setup.
Reds. That's fine.
Oh, France. Well, good work. They've stolen it. Diallo, this is Agricole, but up very quickly was Magli Harvey out of position, and Marchak now has it. Can she keep the ball alive? Yes, she can.
Superb steal.
Brilliant steal, but it will be a Canadian line-out. That's Ladanus.
Substitution Red.
Bundled into touch.
5 and 2.
It's just going both ways at the moment, isn't it? And Well, we're still with 20 to go. Well, just under 20 to go, and we've got a 12 points deficit. You still don't feel this game is safe at all for Canada. Yet they look very capable of breaking out and scoring points, as they look just as capable of making a mistake and giving away points. It's a tough one to call.
Well, I just feel there's more drama to come in this match. Canada look to have a comfortable lead here, but somebody needs to steady the ship, I fear.
Short line out called by Canada.
Clean catch. Belchus. Again, it's a predetermined move, bringing Pakwan in on the angle. The energetic open side wing forward.
Run away, Wise!
To Canada. Come again against the backdrop of the chorus of La Marseillaise. Julien Zussman. In danger of becoming isolated, runs back into... looks for support and gets it. Marchak. Now what will she do? Takes on the French
Stay on your feet, Red!
defense, but she's got the ball to ground, presented it well. Or did she?
Well, she was under pressure there, Word. That was very good French defence there, particularly Maikuita. Gives them an opportunity. We know the kicking capability here of Agricole. She's got to find a decent touch so they can set up this drive. It looks to be the only way. That's a beautiful strike. Looks to be the only way that they can break down this Canadian side. Their structures are very good. All they have to do now is make good decisions with the ball at the back of that maul. Show patience and stick to what they do, and they do it so well.
Sandrine Agricole has a word with her outside backs. But it's one of the forwards that's receiving attention at the moment as further substitutions are made. Sandra Rabier, she wears 19 for France. From the Caen club, plenty of experience, over 60 caps to her name. Climbing high was Diallo, and here comes the drive. Shielded at the back by Gaël Mignot. France come in hunt of that try, which could bring them well back into this match. The crowd on their feet on both sides of the Stade Jean-Bouin. Breaking away is Diallo. It's there for Ndiaye. There she is picking it up. The ball was out. Good work, good anticipation there by Mary Jane Kirby, rather. The Canadian replacement wearing 18. Advantage France. They must surely make Canada pay here. Ndiaye turns. Ladanus goes in to give her support. And the backs are screaming for the ball out wide. Koita, the look forward arrives to lend a helping hand. The running, or pulling down the maul, says referee O'Reilly.
Well, I think one thing's certain, when they're not going to take the scrum. Gotta be knocking this straight into the corner. And patience with the drive. They just lost their shape again. When Mio gets the ball at the back, you feel she's got to be the one driving that ball and just holding the control, as we see the Stade Francais players here in numbers looking on, supporting their feminine counterparts.
Canada don't want to give away a penalty here. Will they challenge the line-out? Well, they won't. Diallo again. Now then wait for the drive and wait for the roar as well from the huge supporting crowd here. Who has the ball? This time perhaps. Diallo. Will she break clear? She's over the try line and the referee is right on the spot. There's life in this game yet. France have clawed one back.
Well, they used this tactic against Australia in the final game that they played, but they threw the ball to Mayans in the line-out, the midfielder, and she set it up. She's involved in this again, as you'll see. Here she is, the blonde here, and she latches on with their number 11 on that occasion. Of course, it is Lagagno. Anyway, it's not them who provide the impetus, of course, it's the number 8. Safin Ndiaye, she does extremely well. Too powerful for their sheer numbers there from France. Well played by France, and number 8 Well, she's been the inspiration once again, hasn't she, for this comeback?
She certainly has, yeah. Scored 2 tries against South Africa in that huge 55-3 victory. 26-0 against Wales, 17-3 against Australia. And France are not done yet.
Testament to the courage of this team out there. You know, tremendous pressure going on them going into this game. Home semi-final, so much expectation. Everybody behind them, everybody wanting the success, and they've responded here because they've had a very tough first 26 minutes of the second half.
So this kick from Agricole.
The rule here for an early charge is that regardless of what happens with the kick, she'll be allowed a re-kick. She's really broken Agricole's rhythm here. She'd do well to reset, go back through her processes, go back to the routine that you're used to.
Settles down. That's the angle, and that's the distance for Sandrine Agricole to bring France back within a try. Well, she may have been put off. But there's still a converted try separating the teams, but France are right back in it thanks to this effort, the forward effort, which brought a try for the shortlisted woman player of the year, Safi Ndiaye.
Well, you see the early charge there, and I'm sure the French supporters are very unhappy about that. But anyway, we're back to a one-score game.
12 minutes to go. Who will it be, France or Canada, through to the final where England await?
The classic truck and trailer ruling.
I haven't heard the old truck and trailer for a few seasons, but you called it spot on there, Simon.
Well, we can just hear through the referee's mic, patience, patience. Calling for a bit of patience out there. Don't break away from the maul. You don't want to have someone in front of the ball because it's effectively an accidental offside because it was a new maul. Anyway.
Bind! Set!
A fantastic shot down from the centre of that scrimmage.
Whereas Canada enjoyed supremacy in this aspect of the game for at least the first 55, 60 minutes. Now, with the changes, and it often happens in the game, doesn't it? But they really seem to have lost the edge that they had there.
But Mignot is still there for France, and while Mignot is on the field, there's still hope for the French. Such an inspiration, the Montpellier hooker. Russell scoops it away to Belchas under pressure. Bundled over, which has done well. Retains possession for Canada. Now it's with Laura Russell.
Canada are getting some great connected carries here at the moment. They're getting good numbers around the ball. That's very important in the close quarter stuff.
That's a useful kick. It's a testing kick for Ledanos. She was taken in the air, was she? Well, she'd call for the mark. Away goes Ledanos to make up for her earlier indiscretion over the Canadian 10-metre line. But Zussman is there, looking to get her hands on the ball. Mignot arrived first. France still have it. And they come again. Mayons, it has to go wide, surely. Well, was that a missed opportunity? It's still on, though, for France. And Elodie Poblan. Fantastic tackle by Mandy Marchak. Breathless stuff here from both teams.
Well, the mark was called by Ledanos, the villain of the first half with the yellow card, if you like, albeit harsh. What a break it was out here. Great speed, good handoff awareness, the presentation, the work on the ground. Then it's on the outside, and it's into Mayans, and she's thinking, do I give it? No, I don't. And who was there to put pressure on her? Well, of course it was going to be her opposite, Burke. And then to bundle play and to touch again, it was the number 13, Marchak, 12 and 13. Once again, in defence, huge efforts.
So Gael Mignot finally calls it a day. Well, it's Letitia Sales who's on for the remaining 10 minutes, and on also comes Jessie Tremoulière in place of Christelle Ledouce. Tremoulière from the Romagnac club. Canada recover. Well, they scored from a similar position earlier on. Not so sure that they have the confidence here to go all the way. It's taken up by Kayla Mack. Replacement wearing 20 for Canada. Belchus just about gets the ball away in time.
There's a lot more energy out now there from this French team, isn't there? That energy comes from what? Well, it comes from desperation. Desperation, knowing that you're 10 minutes away from the full-time whistle and you're trailing by 7. That gives you a newfound energy out there, and they're showing it there by putting pressure on the Canadian number 10 there, Belchus, and putting pressure under her kick. Can they make it count?
Well, there's power, there's electricity as well. Enough power, I should imagine, to keep the Stade Jean-Bouin going for a whole season. And a lot of energy expended here by the French and the Canadian forwards. France looking to get that drive on. Koita, the solid number 5, is there with the headgear, leading by example there. Diallo at 6. And the replacements getting into the action. That's Hooker Sales, number 19. That's Rabier. And Ladanus is back on the Canadian 10-metre line, some 10 metres in from touch here. But Canada have stemmed the tide for the time being as France regroup.
Turned over.
Looks good to me. Belchus finding the replacement. Tremoulière. Off she goes. Fresh legs to Ladanus. She won't go far. Bundled over. Oh, Paquin comes in. Marchak gets her hands on the ball. Or her fingernails, perhaps. Agricole, lovely pass, finding Tremoulière. Mayence is there for France. Just inches in from touch. She's done well to keep the ball alive. And Canada defending a little narrow at the moment. And France have players out wide. If they can win possession first, that is.
The tackling round from the fringes by Canada is too high at the moment. They've got to start chopping and bringing this play to ground. But it looks like the replacements got in the middle of that one.
Getting stuck in there. Yeah, sorry, Simon. Mary Jane Kirby wearing 18. She did remarkably well there. Because had that ball come out, France certainly had the numbers out wide on the right.
Interesting, isn't it? Start of the second half, the ball was turned over by Canada. Well, they got it out of the disrupted scrum and went 95 metres for a try. That occasion, they turned the ball over, had the opportunity to run, but pressure's come on now, hasn't it? And they're thinking, we don't want to play with the ball down here. May have been a 6-on-3, but they chose the kicking option, and they brought a whole lot of pressure back on themselves. Got to have the confidence out there to play what's in front of you. If the option's there, keep on. If it's been working for you all game, stay with it. By kicking the ball away, they're just bringing heat, wave and wave of attack. They've been invited back upon themselves from this French outfit now, who are absolutely desperate.
Yeah, and this is where Kelly Russell now needs to show leadership and cool heads. That's what's required if Canada are to go through to the Cup final for the very first time. We lead France by a converted try. Still plenty of time. The clock stops at 73 minutes. And there is Kelly Russell, just taking a much-needed drink of water. As Canada go down into the scrum. Mallory waits.
Hold on. Look at your angle. You're going across like that.
From a Canadian perspective here, it's an obvious goal, but you don't want to be giving away a penalty. Penalty's going to lead to a 10-metre line out, something like that. This French maul just looks like it is going to walk over the top of everybody at this point in time. You've got to avoid penalties. Be accurate here.
That's exactly what happened against Australia towards the end of the game. It was the superior strength of the French side which brought them home. And there is a penalty for pulling down the maul. It's a little too far, I should think, for Sandrine Agricol will kick for territory here, and exactly as you called it. No prizes for guessing what's going to happen. It all starts with a kick for touch, and it's a good touch finder from Sandrine Agricol.
Superb kick. Here's the scrum. You possibly feel we've got the loose head here, just standing straight up and pushing on the outside. But they're going backwards. The ball trying to be picked out of the scrum by the captain, Russell, on that occasion, which of course is illegal. She can't pick it out from the second row's feet either. And pressure, pressure, pressure. And here we go. This is it, I think.
Well, I called it a nail-biter in my introduction. And there it is. France again bringing in Ladanus, and Mayons wants to get into the action again. There she is, the blonde bombshell. France driving forward, need to control it here as they do through Diallo, the number 6. 5 meters out, 6 meters from the Canadian try line, and again Canada gets stuck in there as Poublan, the 22. Gives a helping hand.
Big moment here, Win. Big moment. She's
huge moment. Huge call there from referee O'Reilly. And is that the game changer? Well, we saw referee O'Reilly going to her pocket in the first half and dispatching Ladanus, and this is Mary Jane Kirby, who's contributed valiantly to the Canadian cause since she's come on. Canada need to prevent this driving maul right from the outset as soon as Diallo comes to ground. And the crowd once again roaring their approval, roaring their support. Ladanus is in there, almost to the try line. The replacement hooker, she's there. And over. Is it try time for France? Yes! Helen O'Reilly has called it. Given the try. It may have been Letitia Salles, the replacement hooker, but never mind. France are right back in it. 18-16 with a conversion to come.
Disbelief on the Canadian subs bench. Well, it had a sense of inevitability about it, didn't it? This French that we spoke about it all game, all pre-game, the power of this French pack, their ability to maul. And on this occasion, well, they only put 7 in the line-out. Classic line-out, if you like, from the French on this occasion. Too strong in there. And the opportunity to tie it up. Well, one of the most impressive kickers that I've seen, certainly in this competition. A beautiful striker of the ball. There'll be absolute silence around the stadium as she prepares for this one.
2 out of 3. Put off by an early charge from Canada as she attempted to convert the try from Ndiaye. For a second, you can hear the pin drop. Oh, she's pulled it. She's pulled it. Oh, the French crowd are incensed. But Canada hang on by their fingertips. They still have a 2-point advantage.
It's very important she puts that out of her mind now. And all it is now is just getting back into the opposition half, putting pressure on and build another line-out. That's where the opportunity's going to come from.
Canada kick deep. Troncy. Harvey has it covered. She of the dancing feet. 2 minutes. 2 minutes for Canada to hold out. 2 points. And they'll be through to the cup final where England await. The last thing they want now, well, it won't go through to extra time, certainly. It looked as if it might as Agricol set up the conversion. Belchars into midfield. Marchaka to reach for that one. She needs some support here. And gets it. Allery. All Canada need to do is to retain possession. Harvey, but the French are there in numbers. But Harvey has presented it well. Minute and a half. The clock runs down. Canada down to 14 players, remember. Mary Jane Kirby in the sin bin. France desperately wanting to get their hands on the ball, and they will get a scrum. This game is not over yet. Into the final minute. Who would have believed that it was going to be this close?
Well, France have got to summon the power here from the 8 again. They've really stood up over the last 20 minutes and dragged their team back in with a shout of getting back into this game. Tactical changes coming here, but the clock still runs. This is the clock's against you at this time. Stop the clock, referee. Give them a chance.
Well, that's used another half a minute. So back on comes the very impressive loosehead prop Marie-Pierre Pinot-Reid.
Great coaching.
I wonder
Great
why.
Coaching.
And Canada down to 7 players in the scrum, of course. And Pierre-Reid, she was superb on the loosehead when she was on earlier. But France have it through Ndiaye. Pakwan tries to bring her to ground and does so. The backs are lined up outside Agricole. And this is Poublan, steps back inside as the clock approaches the 80-minute mark. And it's referee Helen O'Reilly who's the final judge of time here. Only she knows how much time will be added on. Will Canada go through, or will they be denied by France? Play on. What a brilliant tackle that was from Andrea Burke. And the crowd holds its breath, its collective breath.
Jeff, what have we got there?
But there's still time for the line out. There it is! Jeff Warren had a quick word perhaps with the referee. Well, the book is closed, said Sandrine Agricole. But there's still a wonderful chapter to be written for the Canadian team. They are through to the Women's Rugby World Cup final for the very first time, and France are to be denied yet again. Here at the Jean-Bouin Stadium in Paris, it's finished. France 16, Canada 18. It will be Canada against England in the Cup final of 2014.
So here I am pitchside with Kelly Russell, captain of the victorious Canadian team. Kelly, you're in the World Cup final. How does that feel?
We're elated. It's amazing. It was hard fought, and I'm so proud of the girls. I'm so proud of them.
I'm not sure what your pack have been eating for breakfast, but you've been so dominant in this game and the previous game. What have you been working on in training to put those performances out there?
It's just our connectiveness, right? You just work as one unit, 1 to 8, all the way through. I mean, we started forward and the backs finishes off for us, so it's great teamwork all around.
So what will be the focus now? You're in a World Cup final in 4 days' time. What are you going to be thinking about tomorrow and the next couple of days to prepare for that?
Well, right now we're going to enjoy this moment tonight and then rest and relaxation. But, you know, there's still things to fix. We can still execute a little bit better. So just fine-tuning a few things.
Huge congratulations. You're in a World Cup final. Best of luck on Sunday.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
What a fantastic night for Canadian rugby and for their inspirational captain, Kelly Russell. She's led her team to a historic win here at the Stade Jean-Bouin.